In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Dev Proxy to simulate responses from Azure OpenAI APIs. So when we're working with apps that are connected to Azure OpenAI, maybe we're updating a portion of the app that doesn't really need a real response from the language model that's hosted on the service. Maybe using a locally running language model is enough for what you need to develop, a new feature or make some changes. And this is where Dev Proxy can come in by helping you simulate those responses and also reduce unnecessary costs because you're using a locally running model. You're not using the model that's in the cloud. Okay, so let's get started. Let's take a look how we can do that. So let's go to VS Code. Okay, in VS Code, I've got a HTTP file which has a request, which is a very simple request that I'm going to make to the Azure OpenAI API just to get a response. I'm going to show you that working. So let's send the request. We've sent the request and we've got a response, and this is from the live service. But we want to use Dev Proxy to intercept this request and respond with a response from our local language model. Okay, so first let's create a configuration file. And in the plugin section, let's add in our OpenAI mock response plugin. In our URLs to watch, well, we want to watch out for the request. So let's just take a copy of this URL and paste it in. Now, Dev Proxy supports the use of wildcards, so we can make sure that this URL is generic. If we have a different deployment or instance, maybe we're using a different model, so we can make this generic, and we can remove the API version as well and make this generic. So now we've got a generic URL that we can use for any request that our application is going to send to Azure OpenAI. The last thing we need to do is to add the language model property, and let's set that to true. So by default, Dev Proxy will use Ollama that's running on your machine, and it will use the Llama 3.2 model as well. But we do have options in here where you can change the model name, so you can use whichever model that you like. And we've also got a choice of clients as well. If you're using other clients, maybe like LM Studio, for example, you can use Dev Proxy with that as well. Okay, let's start Dev Proxy. So Dev Proxy is just checking to see if I've got Ollama running before carrying on. I do. I've got that running in the background, so it's good. So Dev Proxy has started. Now we can issue our request again. And this time we have a message that says that the post request was intercepted and the OpenAI mock response plugin issued the response. And we can see the response here in the right hand side. So we can see that the model and the ID and the object is something that Dev Proxy was able to fill in. But we have our response. So we have our message of how can I help you today, which is exactly what we're wanting. But the great thing about this is we've not had to change any code. We just started Dev Proxy in the background with this configuration file, and it's been able to fill in the gap. So we're not incurring any additional costs. Okay, great. So in this video, I've shown you how you can use Dev Proxy to simulate responses from Azure OpenAI APIs and use a locally running language model to issue a response. If you want to learn more about Dev Proxy, go to aka.ms/devproxy, and thank you for watching.